Made it to Des Moines. Okay, I finished all my meetings for the day and now I'm waiting for the hotel shuttle to go back to the hotel. So I'm gonna drop myself off and then maybe go do a little sightseeing for dinner. What's up, you guys? I am here in Des Moines, Iowa. I have never been here before and I had a full day of meetings. We flew in this morning, went straight to the office, and now I've just checked into my hotel and wow, this is like so nice and I did not expect my room to be this nice, but check it out. So when you come in, the corridor is so wide, so it feels so welcoming, and you walk right in and there is a full-length mirror. Hello. Over here is a living area. You can see that the furniture is mid-century modern. It is so beautiful in the living room, and this is just the living area, but check out the view. I'm in a corner room and you can see so much of Des Moines from my room. It is so beautiful outside. Look at that blue sky. I'm right next to the Veterans Memorial Auditorium. And it's so nice. So the room has a sofa, a lamp, an armchair. It's very like Mad Men kind of. There is a tiled, I think it's a stone floor. Then there is a desk over here and a big screen TV, a credenza with drawers. And then what happens is you walk through the bathroom. Hello. It's got a huge sink area, a big mirror, and they use Crabtree and Evelyn toiletries here, and there are so many of them, which is so great because then you don't have to ask for more. Here's an entire room for the toilet, and there's also a shower here. A huge walk-in shower. And then you go through another door to get to the bedroom, which is, this I believe is probably like a standard size hotel room usually. There's a large closet with mirrors and a king size bed, more beautiful mid-century chairs, and a very quiet, peaceful view onto the auditorium. I'm so excited to be here. I've never been to Iowa. We're gonna get, oh, this one was you. I'm gonna unpack a little bit just so my clothes aren't super wrinkly tomorrow morning. And then I think we're gonna go downtown. I think we're downtown now. I'm not really sure where we are. I think we're downtown. So we're gonna go to a neighborhood called the East Village and we're gonna go to dinner there. I think it's tacos. I'm pretty psyched. I think there's shopping there too. So, all right, so I'm gonna get going and meet my group. So let's go.
Around and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault.
Good morning from Des Moines, Iowa. It is day 2 for me in Des Moines. It is a beautiful morning this morning. The sky is like pink clouds and blue. It is so nice and it is so quiet in the city. I slept really, really well. I love my room. I'm not wearing any makeup because I thought I would do a little bit of a get ready with me. Last night we went out for a company dinner outing. We went to this games bar called Ricochet, but it wasn't really a bar because it was just games. And I guess they let you bring in your own food and drink. So my company, they catered it from one of like the best taco places in Des Moines. I think at one point I like looked up at my friends and I was like, we're like animals. Like the way that we were scarfing that cheese and chips and like tacos, it was so good. It was so great. I was so happy last night. Excuse me. And then I came home pretty early because there's like a time difference between Des Moines and New York. So by like 9 o'clock, I was dead tired. Plus it was like a school night. So usually during the week I go to bed at like 10 o'clock. Anyway, so I woke up really early this morning, answered some emails, and I thought I would do a little bit of a get ready with me. No makeup. See, this is what my travel face looks like. I have a lot of hyperpigmentation around my eyes. I always have. Like when I was a kid, I feel like teachers in school thought I was wearing makeup in school because I have like darker spots around my eyes, so it looks like eyeshadow. But I didn't wear makeup until I was probably like in like late high school, but only like a little bit. And then in college, when I was 14, I think my mom caught me like wearing mascara, and she was like, you can't wear mascara. I think it's different for kids now. Anyway, this is what I brought with me in terms of makeup to Des Moines, and I think this has become like my pretty standard travel kit for makeup, so I can show you what's in here as we go along. But basically I bring like a small eyeshadow palette. I think this is the Huda Beauty Warm palette. I bring a bronzer. I bring the Hoola bronzer. I have a sample size of the Cover FX shimmery highlighter stuff. I don't know what it's called, but I love it. It's so good. Sometimes I put it on my foundation. I have my Rimmel blusher that I think they discontinued because I couldn't find it in England when I went last week. I have a couple of small travel brushes, which I really love. I have a Real Techniques travel brush, which I use for bronzer. I have a Sephora brush that's like really small that I use for blush. And I have the tiny Artiste brush that I'm obsessed with, and I've started using even at home. I got the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder when I was in England last week, and I really like it because it doesn't make my skin look too matte. Like it makes it look matte, but not like cakey matte. Anyway, so let's go through this while I am getting ready. I need to get a mirror, so hold on. I love it when hotels have stand mirrors, so I just like disconnect them from the bathroom, and I will bring them usually to like the desk area, because that's usually near where like the natural light is. So, do not need the magnifying size. So usually I start with my brows. For my eyebrows, I use what everyone uses, to be honest. It's so boring. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. For a long time I was using dark brown, but now I use ebony because I think it works better on my skin tone, especially when I'm tan. So yeah. So I start by brushing my brows up. My brows are really sparse. I've never really had like very thick brows. I think a lot about getting microblading, but I think my skin will have a reaction to it. I'm worried that I'll develop keloids. So I have this scar on my arm. I don't know if you can see it. This is a scar from being burned with hot water when I was a child. I think I like pulled a teapot off a table when I was a little kid. And in the 70s, I guess they used to like stitch kids' scars up like this. I've met a bunch of people who are around my age who have hot water burns, who have scars that are like, that look a lot like this. I always tell kids it looks like a shark bite, so I'm like, oh, my parents threw me into the shark tank. Anyway, so around the scar I have keloids, which is when your skin raises and creates its own like defense mechanism in reaction to wounds. And so I've always been worried about getting tattoos or piercing anything on my body, so I don't even have pierced ears. I haven't like pierced anything because I'm worried that I'll get keloids around that scar. Anyway, long story short, so I don't do microblading because of that, and I'm nervous that, you know, the last thing I would want is to get keloids around my eyebrows. Okay, now that my eyebrows are sort of on, does anyone else notice that their eyebrows, like sometimes, I try to do my eyebrows pretty similarly every single day, but every day they come out different. And I don't know what it is. Sometimes they come out too long, sometimes they come out too dark, sometimes like the eyebrow pencil doesn't like stick to my skin, but I think today we're okay. Okay, so next up is I do a little bit of foundation First, I don't use a lot of foundation. I use more foundation in the winter because my skin looks more sallow and like more tired. But lately, I've actually been getting a lot of vitamin D, so I've been out in the sun quite a lot, which is really great. And I feel better, I feel healthier, and I think my skin looks better. I do always wear SPF, from foundation to like moisturizer, SPF, everything. Lately, I've been using the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Illumination. So it's a little bit more like, it's not glossy or glittery, but it's definitely more illuminating and shiny than the original one that I was using for a long time. This has an SPF of 50 plus, and I use it in medium. I use like the tiniest bit. So I like put it on my finger. So I put like this is how much I put on my, like so little. And then I go like, I just like, you'll see, I mean, it's almost pointless. I don't know why I do this. So I just put it on my cheeks because I have a little bit of discoloration and my forehead tends to be a little bit darker than the rest of my face. And I have a little redness under my nose. So I put it there. And then this is my favorite new thing that I've bought and I'm using every day, even when I'm home, and I have a giant one, but I prefer to actually use the small Artiste brush. Look how little this is. It is a densely packed foundation and concealer brush. I don't actually know what it's for, but that's what I use it for. It is amazing for blending. It is so soft. It's quite expensive, so I bought it in the Sephora sale. And I use that and I just blend in a very light layer of CC Cream foundation over my skin just to like even things out a little bit. I also think that over the course of the day, this CC Cream foundation starts to look really nice. It does make me a little bit oilier than the other one, the original gray tube that I was using forever. I still like that one, but I think in the summer looking a little glowier is actually quite nice. All right, so now what I do, like you'll have noticed that I go like that sometimes just so I can get like a little bit of base on my eyelids. Lately, I've either been using just my bronzer, Hoola bronzer on my eyelids, or I've been using the Huda Beauty Warm Browns Obsessions. I love this. This is like such a good deal too. I think this was only like 20 something and it comes with 9 shades of eyeshadow. I've really been liking warm shades lately and it's never really been my thing. Like I always thought that I looked best in cool browns and things like that, but now I don't know, maybe it's just trendy. So I've been wearing a lot of like orangey browns. Most days I only use this one color. It's the bottom center color, so it looks like a warm sort of like tan, like a touch of like, I would say like in terms of Crayola boxes, burnt sienna. So I just sweep that over my eyes. I don't want to wear tons of eyeshadow during the week, especially for work, because I just think it looks like you're too done up. But I do have my days. Sometimes when I watch like Jeffree Star makeup tutorials in the morning when I'm getting ready, I realize like by the end, like as I'm walking out the door, I'm like, oh, I'm wearing a lot of makeup. The brush that I'm using is like one of my favorite. It's from the old Moschino Sephora collaboration and it is the teddy bear brush. Look how cute it is. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say that this is like the best brush. I've definitely used better eyeshadow brushes, but I do love the teddy bear. It does make me really happy and it's small enough to travel with. So I think this is actually one of the biggest brushes or longest brushes I travel with. Eyeshadow on. Now moving on to concealer, which I think a lot of people do in this order. They put on concealer after eyeshadow. I always stock up in this when I go to England. I think I have like 10 tubes in my apartment right now. It is the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. I don't know if it has enough. Oh, it's Ultimate Wear Concealer. I use the warm medium color. For a while I was using cool medium. In the winter sometimes I will switch to cool medium. I prefer the warm medium. There's something, I think this formula is maybe because of the pigment, it's slightly different than the cool medium and it just looks better on my skin. I've been using this forever. I love it. It's a total drugstore product, very inexpensive, and so I stock up on it because you can't buy it in the United States. So I use this under my eyes. I try not to use like too much concealer. I was in this habit for a long time, especially in the winter, of using Tarte Shape Tape like all over my face. And I was like, you know what? Let's a lot of concealer I'm using. In the summer, I think I can get away with like a little bit less. This is where I put the concealer. Again, I use the Artiste brush to blend. So as you can see, I don't really do full coverage. I try to do a medium coverage. I think in New York, which is where I live, in New York, people don't actually wear that much makeup. It's not, I feel like in LA, people wear more makeup because people are used to seeing people in more makeup. And definitely I think in like England, there's like a much stronger sort of like experimentation culture. So people are more willing to like play around with colors and like intense makeup looks. But in New York, it's very much about looking as natural as possible. But we all know that involves like 15 products. So after I put my concealer on, I don't bake, but I do use the Rimmel Insta Fix and Matte translucent powder. I really like this product. I have like 10 of them. I've gone through so many. I think I buy them in England. I think here you can get them maybe at Target and Walmart, but I don't live near a Target or a Walmart, so I usually just stock up in the UK. I think they're also cheaper in the UK, but it is a matte powder that does not do flashback. I also find that it's a little bit drying, which I kind of like, and so what I do is I take a big fluffy brush. This is a Real Techniques Point Triple XL brush, and what I like about it is that I wish it was more densely packed for a kabuki brush, but I love that it's short. So I forever was traveling with a kabuki brush that had like a really long handle. It was like really hard to pack. So I use that one at home now, and I just travel with this. And with this and this, I just put it under my eyes to set my concealer. I don't bake because I'm always nervous I'll forget to like get rid of the excess powder, and I'll walk out with like white streaks under my eyes. So this is what I do instead, just to set the concealer under my eyes. Now I used to use this all over my face, and I probably will again in the winter because I'm a little paler in the winter. But after I do that, then I use the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder, which weirdly doesn't come with like an applicator, so you have to have a brush. So I use this in medium, and I use this to, I guess, set my face, but I wouldn't call it set. Just all over my face, just to mat it out and to hide my pores. One of the best things about the Charlotte Tilbury powder is that it's so finely milled that it makes your pores like disappear. During the day though, I touch up with MAC Studio Fix. Sometimes I feel like I need like a little bit more color during the day. It's just a very, very light dusting of powder. Next up, I bronze, and I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I have been using Hoola a lot. I mean, everybody uses Hoola, so I use whatever the standard, is it the standard Hoola? I think there's a light and a medium, so I use the medium. This is not always the right color for me. Sometimes I use the Chrissy Teigen Becca bronzer, which I really, really like. Or I will use the Marc Jacobs Coconut Bronzer, which I think is a little bit light for me right now. I also have been using the NARS, I don't have it with me. It's like the blonde palette, but it's quite dark. So I use that when I'm really tan. And this is one of my favorite things that I bought in England last week. It is a Real Techniques retractable kabuki brush. And it's not really a kabuki brush. It's really like an angled, fluffy brush. And what it does is you can carry it with you without messing up your bag or your makeup bag, because there's like a little lid. Very convenient. I use this because it's angled. I use it for bronzer. Very exciting. So I think for me, one of the biggest things that has really like improved the way that the cohesiveness of my makeup, I was gonna say the cohesiveness of my face, but really it's my makeup, is this blush that I really like. And I'm sad that I think they discontinued it because I couldn't find it in England when I was there last week. It is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Soft Color Blush in Pink Rose. Now I've tried this in a couple of colors. I think they really only had like 3 colors, or most I've ever seen is like 3 colors. I take this on a Sephora free brush that I got for being a Sephora Rouge member. It's a Pro Mini 55.5. don't know what that means, but I think it's a pretty good blush brush. And I just take it on there and I dab, and I like dab off the excess, and I just go here, just like in like the front apple of my cheeks. I don't want to use too much blush because then I feel like I look like I have a fever. With the It Cosmetics CC cream, I have not really been using highlighter because the CC cream does have a little bit of like sheen to it. I don't want to go overboard. Plus I feel like in the summer, like everyone's pretty naturally glowy, and I think some of the things I'm using have a little bit of sheen in it because I do see like a little bit of sheen in the mirror. All right, we're almost done. So next up I use, where is it? This is something that I've been loving. So for years, for like, I would say like 10 years, I was using liquid eyeliner every single day. And I stopped a few months ago because I felt like it wasn't like going with my style anymore, or it was like a little bit too stark to have like a sharp black line on my eyes. And I started experimenting with brown eyeliner, which also feels like a throwback to the 80s. But I love this one. I love the Urban Decay Roach eyeliner. It is, for a long time I was using Smog. It was like a medium bronze with like little flecks of glitter in it. I really like that, but I think one time I must have gone to Sephora and they were out of that, and so I bought this instead. It's not very sharp, but this is what the color looks like. So this is I would say it's like a warm chocolate brown eyeliner, but it's sort of like smudgy. I like it for many reasons. It's sort of smudgy, it goes on really well, it's not too sharp of a line, and it stays all day, which like never happens for me for pencil eyeliner. In general, I really like the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil line. I'm just like, I want to use like purple eyeliner, but I don't. I'm too old for it, I think. So anyway, so I use this and I just do just like a normal line across my lash line, and I'm not too like neat and tidy about it. I do flick it up at the end a little bit, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. It looks very well blended, even if you don't smudge it. It's okay. Sometimes I think it comes out looking like really 80s. Today I think it's all right. I'll smudge it a little. I have this thing that in the corner of my eyes are very teary. So in the corner of my eye, sometimes I get like gross, like tear gunk. Not even gunk, it's just like salt because I eat a lot of salt and so it comes out through my eyeballs. All right, so that's basically it. I'm gonna put on mascara. I've been using Dior Show Iconic Mascara forever because it is the only mascara that I've ever found, despite everyone else's promises, that does not get all over my face by the end of the day. So I think it might be kind of a dry formula. I'll put this on. Last but not least, I picked up this really cute little brush. It's also an angled brush, and look how little it is. It's also by Real Techniques. It's a tiny version of their sculpting brush, which is amazing. It's like one of my favorite brushes. It does everything. You can put on bronzer, contour, foundation. It does everything because it's so densely packed and it's angled. I love it. What I do with this is that I do one last pass with powder underneath my eyes, and when I travel I use Studio Fix to do this, but when I'm at home oftentimes I will use the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'll use the top left light color under my eyes, and it's the perfect brightening powder, but when I travel it's too big to travel with. I just go under my eyes with Studio Fix, and I use C3 because that's my color, and it instantly brightens my eyes. Sometimes I have to blend it a little, and I'll take a little and like highlight spots. So it acts like sort of like a matte highlight. And then this is so glamorous. Look at my finishing spray. I put it in like a little Ziploc baggie because I don't want it to spill everywhere. Lately I've been loving the Milani Make It Last. I have like 10 bottles of this. I like this in both this version, I think this is the mattifying version. Don't even know if it's mattifying. and I like the illuminating version. I find that the illuminating version is a little bit oilier, so I like to use it in the winter more, not the summer. But this, I inhale in and I hold breath so I don't inhale the mist because it makes me sneeze and it ruins everything. And I put quite a lot of it on, and then I fan my face until it dries down. And that, I think, I don't know if it's real or if it's like completely psychosomatic, but helps my face set for the entire day. Okay, I'm ready to go. I think I'm actually not gonna go get breakfast because I don't have time, but I'm gonna head straight to the office. I'm wearing my Animals in a Band dress that I really love. Look, it's animals and they're in a band. Okay, let's go. We have ice cream from Black Cat Ice Cream. We got Bananas Foster. What's up, guys? I wrapped a full day of meetings. It's been so productive here in Des Moines, and I came back to the hotel room to do a little bit of work. So I've been here for the past couple of hours, and in about half an hour, I'm gonna head out to go meet some friends and colleagues at Hello Marjorie, which is a really cool cocktail bar here in Des Moines. This morning, what was really funny was that when I went downstairs to get the shuttle to the office, which is like maybe like a 20-minute walk away, so we take a shuttle, it's so hot here. I walked outside and I heard someone go, "Danica." And I turned around and I saw my friend Trina, who I've known for like, God, like more than 10 years. We used to be friends in New York when she lived in New York. She moved to LA years ago to start a social media agency. I think that she works mostly with beauty influencers, and she was in town to give a talk to a marketing organization that my company is also working with. Anyway, everything comes full circle. It was so cool to see her. Like, I haven't seen her in so long, and we used to hang out all the time in New York. It was just, I really like being in a random place and running into people that you've, you know, like long lost friends and like people you've lost touch with. Obviously we follow each other on social media. So anyway, you can check out my selfie with Trina on my Instagram at Danica Low. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wrap up what I'm doing for work, and then I'm gonna get ready to go out and have a couple of drinks and like check out Des Moines a little bit more. Here at Ted's, and it's so exciting.
Oh, Danica's vlogging.
Okay, I'm gonna eat this thing. I don't think I'm supposed to eat this with my hand.
She says that she takes photos.
It was great.
But also like
We're here at the Highlight Lounge. Okay, we have Tang and Jägermeister.
Welcome to the
I don't like that. I'll try it.
I hope I can see my face in the shot.
This is root beer and Jägermeister. Oh, this is delicious. This is delicious. We have roasted chicken. It's braised and roasted, and it's so good.
It's like they only have the pasture.
Oh my god. That's it for my Des Moines adventure, you guys. I'm back in the hotel. I'm so tired, and it's only like 10:30, but I'm gonna go to bed, and we're leaving for the airport at 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, getting on a flight, going straight into the office. So yeah, I had such a fun time in Des Moines. Like, we had We went to like some pretty fun places and ate some really good food. I'm excited to get back to New York though. I have a couple days in New York before I head out again, so hope you enjoyed this vlog. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave a like if you see that thumbs up button, and I will see you next time.